live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello, hello, hello.
I am Jarrett, the football genius Burgess.
And I'm Stephanie Fitzpatrick, aka the Advantage Coach.
And this is episode 93, a very, very special episode of the Field to the Real podcast. Yeah. It is our year-end wrap-up.
Yeah.
Now, while you will be hearing this January 1st, excuse me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We are wrapping up the entire 2020.
Yeah.
As 2020 as it was.
Listen, in all of my years, and there have been plenty, I've never experienced anything like 2020. And would be okay if I ever never
right. Oh man.
in the rest of my lifetime.
And it's funny, I think about the whole year in totality. And like when we were just talking, I just said like just feels like the fastest, slowest year ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like anything before the shutdown feels like ancient history.
Yeah.
You know, but it feels like it just kind of motored straight through.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But we've had moments in history where a day may feel like that. Or
9/11 was like that.
9/11, like that shut down everything. And that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
9/11.
Yeah.
But 9/11, maybe Y2K, you know, everybody thought that the
when
world
Michael
was about
Jackson
to end.
died.
Yes. When Michael Jackson died.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I vividly remember, and I know we, you know what I'm saying, we sidebarring over here, but like, do you remember where you were when you heard
Michael
that
Jackson,
news?
About Michael Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? I don't remember. Mm-mm.
So, I remember going to my grandmother's house, and my grandfather passed away Thanksgiving Day, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Very rough. Mm. And so after that, I had my own apartment at the time. But after that, I stayed with my grandmother for a little while because it was really rough for her. Mm-hmm. So a few weeks, stay over there. But even after that, I would go stay a couple of days, then go back to my apartment and just go back and forth. So this was June of 2009. Mm-hmm. I vividly remember going over to check on her. I go up the stairs and grandma is either watching judge shows or the news. Like that was it.
Yeah.
So she has the news on, and you know, on Fox, was it TMZ at the time? It was either Fox News or TMZ. Mm-hmm. And she has on the news, and I just glanced at the screen, and I'm looking, and I'm like, Michael Jackson dead at age, whatever it was. I don't remember the exact number. And I'm like, Michael Jackson dead?
Right, right.
I got on my cell phone and called everybody I knew. I'm like, yo, is this real?
Yeah.
And so some people were like, wait, I haven't heard that yet. Let me turn on the news.
Right. Yeah.
Other people are like, you know,
true.
And I heard it. That's real. You know, I see it on the news. And so like I will forever remember that moment because my grandmother was like sitting there in disbelief, like,
yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this cannot be true. Not Michael Jackson.
I think the reason I don't remember specifics is I think I was so numb and devastated. Mm-hmm. I just remember I cried because I just remember being my dad. My dad was awesome because he made sure I experienced some of everything in life, right? That was his goal. That was my dad's goal. Make sure she experiences everything in life.
Yeah.
And so I remember he took myself and my cousin is like 3 weeks older than I am. So we practically he treated us like sisters.
Yeah.
He took us to Jacksonville, Florida to the Victory tour to see Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That was an experience. Okay.
I already know.
That was an experience. And so this year has been a whole bunch of that.
Yeah.
Just numb, just nonstop. Like, wait, who? Like, what happened?
Right.
Like, what's going on? Like, wait, what? Like, it's been that mind numbing, just awe about things all year.
Yeah.
All year.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. I have to say, I'm grateful that we've made it.
Absolutely.
Whoo, y'all. Like, literally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, if I don't even need to, and I'm a life coach, so I'm goal oriented. I don't even care about goals. The goal was to make it.
Get to 2021.
Get to 2021.
Just get there.
Yeah. So, that's just how I feel. So, yeah. All right.
Let's dig into this who's really right. Because Lord, I could just go through and just keep talking about stuff that happened in 2020. It's so many things,
It's so many.
But let's talk about the best in sports of 2020.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. We talked about this during our production meeting. As
Which
brief
was all
as it
of
was,
5 minutes.
Right? We talked about, this who's really right, and it's quite possible that we'll have the same things for this who's really right, but I think we should, we just need to do it, right?
Yeah. So we didn't talk about it like we normally would kind of talk. We did.
Right.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to dig into it, but I can see for some of these that we may have the same answer.
Oh, I'm sure.
For the best in sports for 2020.
Yeah.
With regard to sport, who do you think got it right?
That, for me, the first thing that pops into my head is the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where everything that happened and the way that they had to, abruptly stop the season, and they went and were immediately proactive in trying to figure out the best way possible. If we're going to do this, how are we going to do this? And I feel like they got it right by doing a bubble.
Yeah.
They did. They got it right. And like, for me, it set a standard. And like, we've talked on numerous occasions now, as college football was getting ready to come back, as the NFL was getting ready to come back, as baseball, all of these sports were hockey, everything was getting ready to come back. Our response has been what the NBA did.
Yeah, they're the standard, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. Only because for us to keep our theme of who's really right, and to just kind of shine light on, because the NBA would have been my pick, because we talk about it all the time.
Yeah. But
the WNBA.
Oh, for sure.
They played their games in the bubble as well.
Absolutely.
At IMG Academy, and we didn't hear a peep about anybody sneaking out. Anybody? No, they didn't need the. They didn't need a hotline.
Nobody come in.
Right.
Nobody need wings from the strip club. None of that.
No strip club incidents. And they were able to have a champion without incident. So shout out to the WNBA and the NBA for being a standard, really.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think the rest of the sports world, if they don't look to you all, they need to. And we talk about the NFL, and I think back to that episode where we had with Mrs. Moody, Crystal Moody, and the who's really right from that episode was, is it possible that the NBA takes over the NFL? And we think about the behemoth of the NFL and like them being too large to fail. And I think that we've seen a couple of cracks in the armor. Not that I'm saying, obviously I was on the NBA side of that. Not that I'm saying that I'm right, because they still haven't. But you're starting to see the difference in the leadership.
Absolutely.
And how there is a pathway to that.
Absolutely. For sure.
All right, so who got it wrong?
Man, do we have time to talk about this?
Yeah. We all know we got a lot.
I was like, literally, I wrote this down. I was like, dang, I got so many. But to stay, I guess, with the theme
Mm-hmm.
of bigger than just individual teams or, whatever, I would have to say college football got it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I as much as I was going to try to like just figure or point out someone else who got it wrong, I think it's pretty clear that college football is the league that got it wrong. And you can see the reason why. Like all of these other sports leagues, I mean, obviously with them being professional, they're all on one accord.
Mm-hmm.
The NCAA just doesn't feel like a governing body like the NFL or the NBA.
No, it's a money grabber.
Yeah.
Feels like a money grabber versus yeah, you're right. It's not governed because you give too much autonomy. It's almost like it's the setup. I say this all the time. Sport imitates life, right? Yeah. And so just like art imitates like sport imitates life. And so it's so similar to the way that the country is set up. You got a government that is federal, but they give autonomy to the states to decide, and local governments to decide how things are run, which is chaotic in a sense. Yeah. And so, that's what we've seen in college football this year. It's just, I just saw a bowl had to be canceled.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, what? Like, why are we playing like this? Like, really, what's happening?
Yeah.
So, and just for the kids, like for me, that's the biggest fail. Fail for the kids. I mean, we've watched, what's his name? Keontae. I can't think it's the kid from Florida.
Yes.
That fell out on. I mean, they're not going Johnson. They're not going to say that's what it is, but I bet you that's what it is. Or the kid who had to retire from college football because of his situation where it damaged his heart. So
Penn State.
The Penn State kid. So like that, for me, I know that was basketball with Keontae, but still I just feel like they fail these kids on so many levels, even if they wanted to play. Was that it's like a parent. My kid might want to go play, want to go ride a bike on the cliff, but I'm not gonna say go. My
kid might want to go cliff diving.
Not happening. Sorry.
I'm gonna tell him no.
No.
I'll give you a better one.
You can do that when you're 18, but not when you grown, but not now.
My kid might want to go stick a knife in the electrical socket.
Right. And I'm gonna say no.
Exactly.
Somebody got to be the adult. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I have a dog. Plenty of times he be trying to go across the street in the cars. I'm like, yo, bro. So I'm gonna be a good parent, and I'm holding him back.
Right.
It's just Anyway, they got it wrong.
Yeah.
They did.
So
they got it wrong.
Our last one for this one. So where do we go from here? Like, what do we do? Because it seems like even with this vaccine, and there's already issues with that as far as like the distribution of it. Mm-hmm. Seems like with this vaccine, we still won't return to some level of normalcy. So where do you see us going from here?
Well, I think personally that when we get our new president in office, that people are going to be mad because I think he's going to shut it back down. Mm-hmm. All of it. I don't care if it's professional sport. I don't care if it's collegiate sport. I don't care if it's high school sport. He going to shut it all back down because at the end of the day, the concern is human beings and lives.
Right.
Not your entertainment.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? I feel like what needs to happen is all of these leagues, particularly on the collegiate level, because I know that a lot of concern when they were trying to figure out about football was, I'm a senior or I'm a junior and I'm potentially leaving. How does this affect me going forward. So I feel like now's the time that these leagues that the NCAA needs to be figuring out how they're going to help these kids and operate in a way that helps them and not hurts them because they're having to sit out or not be a part. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do so that they don't feel the pressure of, but if I don't do it now, I won't do it. I mean, we know 70% of, we're just talking about football, 70% of the league is African American, right? NFL.
Right.
Which means that's probably close to or more at the collegiate level, right? Or the percentage of kids who are African American.
Right.
And we know a majority of them, their stories they come from situations that are not the best, right? And so their hunger and thirst is survival,
right?
Not just I want to go play at the next level to be known, this is for them a way to switch things and change the fortunes of their families, generational wealth, to change that. You know what I mean? And so their hunger and their desperation for it blinds them sometimes to the bigger picture of, but your life could be in danger doing this. And so I feel like if we could just, if the NCAA could just come up with a way to make this make them feel less like they have to be desperate or feel desperate about this.
Right.
As we go into 2022, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I think it's one of those things where we see what it is, and we've always known it, but we see that money is what makes this thing go. And as you know, the money flows, everything else goes. So I think the only place we can go from here is, and I know they didn't want to prioritize like professional athletes and collegiate athletes. They wanted to prioritize the frontline workers and the essential workers. I think next in line, it has to be them. It has to be the professional and collegiate athletes, all of them. Because and you already know my feelings on the vaccine, but I think that if you are going to put these people at risk, these athletes, these young men and women at risk, there needs to be a safeguard. Now, we know that you are going to make your money and you don't care about the lives of these people, but the least you can do is make sure you safeguard them.
Yeah, if you're gonna make money off of them, you want them to be around, right?
Right.
Okay. If that's for no other reason than that you need your workhorse to be around, you need to take care of it.
Well, the reality is, though, and it's sad to say, if something happens to one of them, they just get another one in this place.
Oh, for sure.
And we've seen this. Like you said, the kid from Penn State. Oh, you can't play? Next man up. And it's unfortunate, because that mindset means that you don't look at me as a person. You look at me as a commodity. But yeah. Yeah, this one's frustrating to talk about. It's frustrating. Because it's like, I'm an idealist to the core of me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when you look behind the curtain, you get a peek, at the wizard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, this is really what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it's funny because everything we just talked about was kind of COVID related. I just want to switch it up a minute.
Yeah.
Just for a second. Because I want to take the who got it right to the whole race issue for a minute. and talk about again the response of the professional players across the board. They got it right.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to stepping out and being brave enough to say how they felt about things. Whether that was the NBA, NFL, you know, the few that are in the MLB, like, you know, the MLS, they all stepped up to the plate. And WNBA, like, I'm just really proud of the way that they got it right.
Yeah.
They did. They got it right.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that. And if it's something about where we go from here, from there, they need to continue to keep their foot on the gas.
Right. Yeah. Now
don't let up. Don't let up.
I was going to mention that in the memorable moments, but you are totally right. They are who got it right. You know, and like you said, it can't be a one-time thing. It can't be a here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, the pressure needs to be applied
all the time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that because everything we kind of talked about was more COVID related. I wanted to. Those are our two big things for this year, right?
Right.
It's the race issues and COVID. And so I really, they got it right. I just appreciate it. I mean, literally, I know that Joe Biden winning the election has some correlation to their influence and them using their platforms to really encourage people to vote.
Right, I wholeheartedly agree. And let's hope that it'll work with this David Perdue, Kelly Loeffler, John Ossoff, Raphael Warnock race.
That's in Georgia to flip the Senate blue.
Yes, because we need that. We see what Mitch McConnell's doing right now. But I digress.
Look, you see my face was just about to look. My face was gonna look like his, like it was melting for a minute. But yeah, no, I'm just like, But no, I think I just read an article yesterday. Sidebar, sorry. Read an article yesterday where they were talking about how the rappers in Atlanta have been key in helping to get people to vote.
Yeah.
Because of their ability to use their platforms.
Right.
And them getting out and really.
The people,
Yeah. So I thought, okay. So good stuff.
Put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.